Yep. This one is Kohrek's pick. WillardJBradley does have a pick for their Saturday match, and then Sunday is another one. But we are all.
Starting out rich with 300 rupees in Link's house.
Well, that takes a lot of the mystery out of what they're going to do in Kakariko Village out of the equation. And there's
our sword. Uncle absolutely going to have that in this race. This is Uncle assured. We'll see what is in the other escape chest.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if my math is right, these Uncle Assured seeds just have a slightly higher chance of having an Aghanim required seed just because it's already one check mark off the box for Aga requirements just to get to the Dark.
That may be true, but this is all dungeons, so pretty much anywhere that they need to check isn't going to necessarily be too far out of the way. A lot of times we think about like pedestal or green pendant being, oh gosh, do I really want to do that check? You might as well on this. You have to do that dungeon regardless.
Oh, Skull Woods. That's one of those small keys that we don't really need to see. So while you're always excited to pick up a small key in Key Sanity, Skull Woods and Misery Mire are the two dungeons we're going to say, thanks, but no thanks.
Oh, and there's the shovel. We might be seeing a South CAC play first, depending on bombs.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting to see. There's a couple different strategies you can do if you're not going to get bombs as you're going through this escape. Still haven't seen it. That could be an interesting play a little bit later and see how much they farm up bombs if they do, or just keep on blazing through. But if they do finish, what do? Do they save and quit and do kind of a South CAC route to try to farm up some bombs in those bushes? Or do they just dive in knowing they have the cash to go ahead and buy them if they need them?
Ooh, there's the Moon Pearl. Not going to have to worry about finding that in a weird location. It's right there in Zelda Cell.
Really reassuring, I think, to get that Moon Pearl that early. Just knowing that it's one thing that you don't have to stress out for. That being said, when you have this much open in the game to start off with, you don't necessarily want to go to Dark World too soon. Otherwise, the possibilities of trollage just open wide up if you open up a ton of them.
Oh, and there's an 8 bomb drop on Kohrek's side. Meaning Willard should get that soon if he kills some more short green cigars.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot between here and there. We might be to the next tier, down to the basement creators. Oh, no. So Willard is still hunting for some bombs. He's going to do a little bit more farming. Kohrek's already got kind of a straight line lead. But this is far from over. This, 3-second lead isn't anything to worry about in a randomizer.
Can't dig up the rocks, but Willard is going to try. See if he can kill some ropes here and get some bomb drops here in the snake chamber.
He's trying a little bit. Still hasn't found anything. Wasting too much time. He's going to move on. Kohrek finds a piece of heart in this other treasure chest, so Willard's not going to be bailed out with bombs there.
I don't think I saw any in the fall tournament, but I did see multiple matches in the spring tournament that somebody ended up getting a close to insurmountable lead just from having access to the back of the escape early.
It can absolutely happen, and the worst thing is you always are concerned about it. It's always playing in the back of your mind. Oh, and Canis Amari, a blue potion, and a small key to Castle Tower. That does open up something over there. As soon as we get the lamp, we're still a little bit short in terms of what we can possibly get, but that's significant.
Those 2 Castle Tower keys have determined quite a few key sanity races this tournament.
Chad also pointing out that the bottle also means he'll be able to check Sick Kid on his first pass through CAC. Won't have to make a trip back, so it's a small thing that, you're right, could become a big thing we're really going to look forward to. And to add insult to injury, there was a bomb drop for Willard, and there's bombs in the sanctuary. Oh, that's insulting.
Yeah, at least it wasn't gloves back there. Gloves is probably the worst thing you can find back there if you don't have access to it during escape.
Well, that's still a possibility because we haven't checked Sick Kid. If Sick Kid has the gloves, that compounds that problem right away. So we're going to be holding our breath for that one.
Well, Willard gets 1 bomb from digging, and there's a map in the Thieves Hideout. Map of Hyrule Castle. Doesn't really tell us that much with that one.
That's right. In Key Sanity, what the maps do, in addition to normally you just get to see around, but we're speed gamers. We know the maps and we know the dungeons inside out. The problem is, in Key Sanity, the maps will tell you if it's a pendant or a crystal dungeon. Now, it's all dungeons, so it's not going to be that great, but the knowledge in a normal, not Key Sanity seed is actually pretty good.
But Vitasia, can't you just tell by the music?
Oh no, you can't, because that is also randomized, and the glove is dug up. First thing from Kohrek. So it's not in the bottle. That's good. Willard will be able to get.
So we do see Kohrek doing that South CAC play that we were talking about earlier. Willard going to check out Blind's Hideout here first. Kohrek going to go ahead and blind run the race game.
You know, in Key Sanity, there's a higher probability of having something you need in the race game anyway, so it's worth the check to just go ahead and do it. Willard finding arrows, a map, mail upgrade, and a small key to Ice Palace. That's interesting. Willard finding the book. Kohrek also finding another 300 rupees. Now, it's interesting. That will put him over the threshold to get to Zora if he wants to do that. I don't know how many other rupees are here in CAC, but that might prove something enticing, at least a little bit later. Well, Willard did pick up the book.
There's 20 of them there on the library. Kohrek's not going to go back and get those. And there's our first big key. It's big key of GT.
All right, who guessed 22? Because that was just about number 22, I think.
Oh, and Kohrek finds the Matsutake mushroom there. Probably not going to cook that up. Probably going to give it to the witch instead.
Hey, fetch quests have been valuable so far this time. So Sick Kid is giving us our first pod small key. Palace of Darkness, one of those dungeons that has 6 small keys in them, so all 6 of those chests are replaced with new items. If you can get in there, it is a very lucrative spot. You just need a ton of keys to get through.
And there's another one. Kohrek and Willard are basically just crisscrossing each other now. Willard going to check out the south side of Kak. Kohrek checking out the top.
It'll be interesting if Willard remembers to go and turn in that shovel. That's not something that you normally route in as you're leaving Kak from the south. So if he remembers to go get that shovel, he will be rewarded with the power glove. If he doesn't, if he just kind of brain farts it, for lack of a better term, because you're not used to having it, that might put him a little bit behind.
Now, one thing you got to keep in mind with these racers is they are running a lot of races in a pretty short amount of time. You don't want to see them get their seeds actually mixed up a little bit. I've seen that happen before. It's happened to me. I don't think it'll happen with these two, but hope not.
So Willard also kind of doing the key sanity meta and saying, I'm just going to go ahead and do the race game. No need to check for it. Also going to be rewarded with 300 rupees. What does he do after this? Oh, yeah, he's switching to shovel. He's got it. So Kohrek's going to be the first on, we're kind of at a standard route right now, and Kohrek has some extra steps. Oh, it looks like Kohrek is, he's setting up the fake flipper so we can go turn in this mushroom. This is the fastest route to the witch if you don't have the flip. He can do this and then follow it up right away with a Zora check if he so desires.
I maybe wouldn't do that, just because it would be better to fake flipper from the south and just check the waterfall at the same time.
Oh, so what he did there, what Kohrek did is, that's why he set it up that way. So he did it from a saving quit. He turned in the mushroom, saw it was garbage because it's just a map and we need to clear it all anyway. And then immediately reset. So he still has his mushroom, and with a cane of Samaria, he'll be able to set up fake powder later if he wants to.
Yeah, he still needs either the mirror or the hammer to get access to that. But if powder's not somewhere where it's easily gettable and there's something nice on bat, then you just saved a ton of time.
That is also interesting. Kohrek is skipping, at least for the time being, what is normally the dam. Now, I think, if I'm guessing right, he's going to start here, go over to the dam, and then go over to possibly the desert area because he's got the book. And there's the lamp, so the fire source.
Oh, but there's the cape, too. That means Akka is in play at this point.
That's right. We are only, at this point, a second castle tower key away because we have everything else we need to get through. Really interesting. He went the other way. He's going over to Ice Rod Cave. Willard also did the same sort of reset trickery that Kohrek did, but he's opting to do the dam first. Kohrek hasn't done this. Oh, but Kohrek finds the mirror.
Ice Rod Cave seems like a place you could find a mirror, like generally.
I mean, thematically, yeah.
Isn't ice just nature's mirror?
Oh, small key. What's that going to be? Turtle Rock. Not something you necessarily want to see. You know, you eventually have to get there, but you don't want to see it this early.
We'll say thank you to Kohrek for turning on the 1/4 heart beep speed. Then we saw Ice Rod on the Lake Hylia Island.
We're not too far away from that, so alright, we have a Turtle Rock small key and then another Ice Rod. That's a lot of steps to Turtle Rock this early. Chat saying flippers on Laser Bridge. You guys are mean.
Yeah, but with this being all dungeons, that's just everything's just slightly less mean.
True. And let's not forget, it is entirely possible, because it's all dungeons, that an item needed to clear a pendant might very well. There's the fire rod from the fake flippers. Gotta remember that. It's entirely possible that, say, for example, you need the hook shot to clear Swamp Palace. If Swamp Palace is a pendant, that hook shot can absolutely be in Ganon's tower.
See what King Zora here has for us. We're gonna go ahead and grab it. He's only got 4 hearts at the moment. Might as well come in handy, but it is just a piece of heart.
That is worth mentioning. You know, we're only at 4 hearts right now. This is a pretty sickly seed for a Key Sanity seed. Now, you know, Key Sanity seeds do start out kind of low on health, and you eventually get there once you get to some more dungeons. But this is kind of low. I'd be a little worried.
So Kohrek is heading up. Sorry, Kohrek is actually going to check Lumberjack Ledge. Then going to head up to Death Mountain. It looks like we do have access to Hera at this point.
That's a little bit risky right now. I mean, that's nice to see. Oh, flute!
So I'll tell you where we won't find that castle key. It's going to be Misery Mire.
That's interesting. A lot of runners try to save Aga 1 for right after they beat Ganon when it's an all dungeons run. But I don't think that's going to be a possibility right at the moment.
Now with Flute on Lumberjack, the minute you get boots, I'd say go do Aghanim right now.
Old man giving us a worthless map.
Yeah, if this was just a regular Kill Ganon run, then those maps would be pretty handy, but we don't really need to know unless we are looking at a pedestals type situation or a green pendant type situation.
There's at least one key there that we'll be able to get, because he will do Tower of Hera from the mirror side. Not even checking, just going right to it. We'll still have these hints as well for version 30. These hint tiles are just a new source of entertainment.
Oh, and there's the other castle tower key.
And a unique item requires a bomb. That's
And Kohrek is back in health beeping mode.
And another pod small key. I'm getting the intention that we might be intended to go to Aga into Palace of Darkness.
That seems more and more the case here. We're not going to be able to get a lot here in Tower of Hera unless the RNG gods are nice to us.
No, it is not nice to us because we don't have the big key and we don't have the small key, so we're just checking a few places.
And there we find out where the Swamp Palace big key is. That's a very useful big key, right?
No, it's one box. That's all it is.
Ah, okay. Yeah, Swamp is one of the 2 dungeons in the game that does not require the big key to complete it. Swamp and Skull Woods. And Kohrek is making Yaga play right now.
Yeah, it makes sense at this point. Not much else you can do. 2 castle tower keys. You have everything else you need. At very least, it's 2 other items and Dark World access, so it's a worthwhile. Got the fire rod, so you're going to be able to make short work of all those ball and chain guards as you need to. Normal mode, so we don't have any weird magic shenanigans going on. Well, I mean, another heart to fill up. That's nice.
Ooh, we're going to get the rarely seen Aga Tower hit tile today.
True. And, oh, that's insulting. That's just mean. At Tower of Hera small key that we were just at, literally 5 seconds ago. Willard's right there.
I think I saw a pendant on Desert Palace. A pendant on Thieves Town and a crystal in Skull Woods. Oh, that's a really nice hint. No reason to go to the left side swamp.
Did that say end bumpos?
I think it just said some bombs.
Okay, I'll believe you. It went a little too fast for me.
Well, Kohrek's out of magic, so he's got to deal with this one guard here on this precarious ledge with the sword.
Yeah, that was a little rough for him. Took 1 fall there. It's unfortunate. Probably the only mistake you'll see from Kohrek all game, and that was kind of a persistent guard. Willard also on his way making the play. I tell you what, key sanity seeds have a tendency to be a little bit more linear than some other randomizer seeds, but these guys have just run exactly in each other's order right now.
And Aga starting out nice with the blue ball on the second shot.
Slow guy is slow. This is not the grand finals. This is the bronze match. Game 1 between Kohrek and WillardJBradley.
Saw a comment in the chat. This is a triple required Aga. We require him to get into the Dark World. We require him to get access to the flute on the Lumberjack Ledge, and we also require him just because this is all dungeons.
I mean, 3 good reasons to go. Seems like a logical play to make that. Alright, so what are we going to find on the top of this pyramid? This might be something. We don't have much access to the overworld here. Just 10 arrows. It's pod at this point. Nothing much else we can do.
The only other real option is catfish at this point, isn't it?
We have some limited access to Eastern Palace, which I think you do almost immediately after pod. If pod ends up coming up empty for you, you have 3 pod small keys, so that seems to be the higher value play. But on your way, you check Sahasha's closet. The book indicates we might find something in desert as well, but not much you can do there without boots or the small key.
Yeah, I think going ahead and doing Aga before heading over to the eastern area is the right play. You do have the mirror, so you can just mirror over to check the sauce closet if you need to.
So Kohrek opting to do catfish first before pod, just double checking. It's the most efficient time to do this right now. Just a piece of...
Where's he going to go?
This is a little bit interesting. I don't know where Kohrek's going. He back to the back
he's
here?
hula-handing.
Oh, he doesn't have the rupees for Kiki. He didn't want to gamble he'd get the rupees necessary to pay off the extortionist monkey from the eastern, Sahas closet. So he went and gathered some rupees from there first. I
saw Extortionist Monkey play on Warp Tour in 2005. They did a cool set with Lesson Jake and Guttermouth.
I don't know how to respond to that.
So Kohrek is going to make his way over to pod now. Willard is finishing up Aga, so we are coming up neck and neck on these 2 racers at this point.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Willard does. Does he dive right into pod? He's got the money. He does not need to go do the farming that Kohrek just did. Green Pendant, Desert Palace, so he gets that hint. Is going to be checking the closet. 10 arrows, 3 bombs, and a map. So his rupee play does pay off there. He saved himself some time, but Willard is still able to catch up. He has a few more rupees. Chad also pointing out they have the blue goo there from the bottle, so they'll be able to go ahead and check the Bowlock side if they want to do the sequence break as well.
Yeah, that's a really interesting break that was found out probably about a year ago now. where you can actually unlock the camera and use it to trick the game into thinking the red mimic is dead.
That's... Man, this scene is a little bit insulting. You just got extorted for 100 rupees from a monkey, and it gives you 100 rupees first thing.
Now, in a normal race, Kohrek could have just mirrored over to Eastern first and done the rupee room in Eastern, but this is Key Sanity, and he didn't have the keys to do it. Got a question, are glitches allowed? So certain glitches are not. Water walking, for instance, is allowed. The bottle glitch is allowed, and spooky action done in Misery Mire is allowed. But things that... Ooh, never mind. We're going to stop that train of thought, and there is the hook shot.
Nice item to see right there. We have everything we need to get through. Only one sword, so it's a little bit annoying to beat the boss. Right now, the only thing we can do to damage is to do spins, for example.
Oh!
Okay, so... And boots. Everything's coming up Kohrek right now. Willard opted to go ahead and do the Eastern dive, and nothing has paid off in this end, unfortunately.
Kohrek will be able to get that flute as soon as he finishes up pod here. He may go ahead and dive Eastern just to be thorough, but you can bet that he is heading up to that lumberjack ledge pretty much immediately after this.
Oh, almost absolutely. That flute is so nice. Looks like he's going to go ahead, do this hammer jump, set things up to where you can do this bomb jump. Very cleanly done by Kohrek. He'll get a couple other treasure chests here. Willard showing us the hint in Eastern is something about Kakariko Wells, so we know.
It's the key of evil's bane.
I believe that particular hint, small key to Misery Mire, but the key of evil's bane hint, there's one of those in every game, isn't that right?
Yep, that is the hint to where the GT Mickey is. And Kohrek is making every... boots are in this dungeon, and he shows us right there why. But he is using every trick available to him to get the most out of pod that he can. We are seeing the hammer jump. We are seeing the bottle glitch.
Sarah Zelda has a question in chat. Is the bottle glitch allowed only in pod or in other places as well? To my knowledge, this is the only place where that particular glitch is productive in any way. So it's one of those, I guess you can use it, but why would you in other places?
The game doesn't necessarily check to see if an enemy is dead. It just checks to see if they are off screen. And by unlocking the camera with the bottle glitch, you're able to position that red mimic to where he is off screen, along with the two green mimics, and voila, the door opens. So Willard getting his boots sent before getting the boots, so he is going to be very happy to see this.
I think the boots are actually in another location. They're not past the... They're not right here.
Yep, they are in the turtle room.
Kohrek being thorough and going ahead and dipping into Eastern while he can, able to do it a lot more efficiently than Willard was able to between the boots and the hookshot. You're moving through this dungeon a lot faster.
For the only dungeon in the game where you don't normally have boots, Eastern does have quite a few straightaway passages that you can easily burst through with those boots.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really beats the one long hallway in desert just to really show off what you can do that first time, but there are a lot of straightaways here. Chat pointing out, actually, that WillardJBradley only has 2 pod small keys. I don't know which one he's missing, per se, but he might not go all the way back. Oh, yeah, the last one was from Sick Kid. Thank you, Linkforce, our wonderful tracker, making things look awesome for us, too.
No, Kohrek is going to head on over to Paradox Cave at this point.
East Death Mountain, as a whole, is just a very valuable place, and with so much of the rest of the world cut off, yeah, this is the highest value spot you have right at the moment.
So smart move by Willard. He intentionally killed himself so he could do a hard reset if his small key play did not work out. And Kohrek getting our first GT small key.
Oh, small key to Desert Palace. That makes that play a little bit more lucrative right now. And it's a silver arrow. So based on what we have now with the Desert Palace small key and the book, we still don't have the big key to Desert Palace, but it feels like that's at least, with the boots, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 checks you can make once you get on top of the ledge. Desert might be the most lucrative spot at this point.
Yeah, we don't have access to Misery Mire. We do have access to we have access to the Mire surroundings. We don't have access to the dungeon quite yet.
We don't even have the Titan Smiths. We don't even have access to the surroundings.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Figured we had those at this point. I missed that. Kohrek is actually doing the full loop around. He's going to be checking Graveyard Ledge while he's up here. And he should be able to check King's Tomb as well.
King's Tomb, Graveyard Ledge, and Bonk Rocks, all kind of in the same go, plus Bumper Ledge. So this is right on.
Flute doesn't necessarily help you get to any of these locations faster. So yeah, this is a very heads-up play by Kohrek. Very smart, and not a lot of racers would make this play, I don't think.
I mean, obviously, neither of us were necessarily thinking about it, but hey, Willard's thinking the exact same thing.
Oh, wow. Mitts in King's Tomb.
That's so rude, and Willard is right there. So Mitz right now just opens up that particular Mire area right now. Once we get the flute, we're just routing all of this beautifully. This is probably the most efficient kind of North Hyrule routing I've ever seen. Being able to route in your lumberjack cave required get, and with this other northern route goes, it's just a thing of beauty. Oh, bumper, Bonkrux, Bonkrux.
Ooh, big key up on bumper ledge.
That'll, other than the Ganon's Tower big key, that's going to be our first big key of the game. Might actually get some dungeon going here. Willard finding a small key to Misery Mire. Okay, so nothing too serious that Kohrek just...
Oh, that's the once again, minute late, Eastern Palace big key.
The game is taunting us, I believe, Virtua Cat.
Good bump by Willard. Really smart time save.
Got to save the milliseconds there.
Hey, this could come down to that.
As linear as this run has been, absolutely. There's really no... I mean, they're both playing excellent. Every decision they're making is just right on, but you stop and think, this has been a very linear seed. It's an execution match. It's not much of a routing decision at this point. And yes, to answer a question in chat, yes, Aghanim was Dark World access. It was required because it's all dungeons, and it was also required because of flute access, all dungeons, and our Dark World access. So, triple required Aga. Thanks, Gabe.
And there's the pod big key as well.
Thanks, game. Okay, so here's our first real divergence. Kohrek, on his way, looks like he's going to do Dark Death Mountain. That'll be the 2 in Super Bunny Cave and then the 4 in Hookshot Cave. Meanwhile, WillardJBradley is going back. Hey, we got the Fire Rod. Let's go ahead and kill Mothula. Get a dungeon cleared.
That sweet fighter sword, no hammer Mothula. Oh no!
No, Willard!
Willard trying to do some sweet Gibdo manipulation. Looked like Quake was on Turtle Rock.
That's interesting. No sign of any medallions at this point in time. Alright, Kohrek in Hookshot Cave. Just a piece of heart. Whose gamble is going to pay off here? Another piece of heart. 3 hearts. Is it 4? Nope. Flying enemy, it is the first match of the bronze race. So, yeah, they're tied. This is a fresh match. And Willard's exhibiting extreme patience. Squoze in between a couple of blocks. That was heads up playing there. Kohrek, meanwhile, is going over and he's going down into the basement of Tower of Hera. This is kind of out of the way for a one shot.
Kohrek, gotta be careful. Don't want to use all your magic, and those tiles, they do hurt no matter what armor you're wearing.
He doesn't necessarily want to risk the coffee glitch. Coffee glitch, just coffee break.
Willard picking up half magic in the bottom of the back of Skull Woods, and he's also going to give us a pedestal check here. So 2 out-of-the-way checks here done by both of our racers. And just couch cash. And couch cash.
Double insulting. Although Willard is the first one on the board with 1 dungeon, or the second dungeon complete. I guess Castle Tower is still the first one.
Hey, 20 rupees can buy many things. Rupees can be exchanged for goods and services.
This isn't retro. I did not catch what that Misery Mire medallion was. Kohrek is in the Misery Mire area. Big key to desert. Meanwhile, Willard finds another pod, a small key, and 300 rupees.
There's ether on the desert ledge, and Willard gets the fire shield. Is Willard setting up fake flipper or water walking?
I think he is. Meanwhile, Kohrek picks up another small key. It is small key to Ganon's tower. Worthless hint.
There's always money in the bandstand. There is a welcome find, Master Sword by Kohrek.
Yep, and there, in fact, is Willard. He is setting up his water walking glitch, so he's dashing around right now. Is he going to Ice Palace?
No.
He's going to get the Ice Rod. What? What are you doing, Willard?
Kohrek finding another pod key.
That's 5 out of the 6 pod keys at this point in time.
Actually, somebody brought up that if flippers were in Turtle Rock, yeah. Now, if Willard is playing his Flutobo flute.
That is an excellent point, chat. That has the possibility to troll, so preventive maintenance heads up play then. Kohrek working his way, he's going to get another dungeon complete, just not the same dungeon. Don't often see that in Key Sanity.
I mean, you can't expect Willard to, or you can't expect me to not make a bunch of Simpsons references if Willard's playing as the Homer sprite.
I gotta say that sprite creeps me out a little bit. Sarah Zelda asks, is bow or hammer at Fat Fairy more truly? Generally I would say hammer because it's rare. And people, I mean, some people have to look out for it. Yeah, I would say hammer. Just my opinion, though. So Willard now going over here into the south, into the village of Outcast area. Kohrek, meanwhile, is going to go ahead and open up Misery Mire, has a couple of keys, and has the Ether Medallion, and a way past the front door. This is kind of an early Misery Mire play. I like it, though.
A lot of things have kind of been pointing down this way. I mean, he's got Ether, he's got his Master Sword.
And it's worth noting that Misery Mire, you know, in a normal game is only worth 2 dungeon spots, but because there's so many worthless keys in this particular dungeon, it has a lot more items in it in a key sanity dungeon. So a pretty lucrative play right now, I think.
And there's Willard getting the map of Mire and also a shield upgrade, giving him the Mire shield. And, oh, Willard getting a small key to Misery Mire, while Kohrek is in Misery Mire.
Alright, so Kohrek is doing the cutscene right now. We're going to see both the hint and, of course, this kind of far dive back into Misery Mire. We still don't have the big key, so not much else we can do here. Compass requires the hammer. Thanks.
Oh, baby! There's a red boomerang at the bottom of Mire for Kohrek.
I forget, is the red boomerang the best boomerang?
No. Oh, and there are the flippers in Misery Mire. Kohrek now has flippers. He can access Ice Palace. He can access the first chest of swamp. Or actually the first 2. And there's
We have that Eastern Palace big key at this point in time. I'm making a beeline to Eastern Palace right now if I'm Willard. We've had access to that place for quite a while now, though, haven't we? And the big key to Ice Palace.
Man, one thing's telling you to go to Ice Palace, one's telling you to go to Eastern. I mean, this is opening up to a degree that we have not seen yet.
It's really interesting. Like, they were both performing that kind of North Hyrule route at the same time, and then from there, just have gone in 2 completely different directions.
But they're both getting really good and necessary items out of it. The little scene Dark World Tree Pull post Aga.
Oh, and here's Hype Cave. Big key to Hera. Small key to Ganon's Tower. And Bombos. Okay. I don't know, maybe 410? Big key to Hera because it's required.
We're going to get Gina's cave here as well. Mind the smell. And a Troc small key. So,
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I agree with Beta Flex in chat. It would be a 5 or 6 if Bombos was required. But no, it's all right. Kohrek setting up and getting some potions here. Wondering if that means he's going back to Eastern. Or Pop.
I think he's going to Ice. Or, no.
He might be doing this loop over here. He might be doing Skull Woods, knowing that even though he has a Master Sword, it's just so much safer with the Fire Rod. Oh, and here's something that's going to gnaw at Willard a little bit. He does not have the Desert Palace small key. I forget exactly where that was, but he's doing Desert without the Desert Palace small key. When he eventually finds that, if he's really hunting for something, he could be pulled over in this direction. When Kohrek went through, he was able to do it all in one swoop. So this is going to play into the race a little bit later for one of those out-of-the-way spots that Willard might have to waste a lot of time to get back to.
If I remember right, that was up on Death Mountain?
Dark Death Mountain, I think, yeah. Or regular Death Mountain, I'm sorry. Yes, I believe Right Side Desert does have one of the pod small keys, which, you know, are of questionable value right now. We're getting close to being able to fully clear it anyway. They both were able to hammer you. It just depends on what else he's looking for later, if that's going to play into his mind. I think that's going to be the bigger thing.
Here we're seeing why Kohrek picked up that extra magic powder or magic potions. By the time he gets to Matha, he is going to have 0 fire rod shots left.
Kind of a heads up play, because you kind of spend a lot of seconds throughout the entire dungeon kind of collecting magic as you go, so you have something. So just lopping off a little bit of time to get a potion might save him some time in the long run and make for a safer Mothula fight.
Not only that, if you're not really confident with corralling the Gyptos in the torch room, you may just go ahead and just fire one off at them and kill them.
So both runners kind of flip-flopping dungeons that they've completed at this point in time. Both have completed Desert and Skull Woods. Willard will still have the right side of Desert to eventually get back to. Kohrek is going to be finished cleaning out Skull Woods at this point in time. Back to Eastern, I think, is what the play might be at this point.
I don't know, I'm feeling ice.
I just really had to suppress the urge to sing Ice Ice Baby, yeah.
Oh, Willard.
Oh, dead rocked.
They're the worst enemy in the game.
All right, so now they're kind of just flip-flopping. Kohrek is now doing the Village of Outcasts, where Willard's already done, and Willard is now doing Death Mountain. He's going to be able to loop in both Death Mountain and Dark Death Mountain in kind of one go, so they'll be very, very close to each other when it all comes through.
There's Kohrek getting his Mire shield upgrade. And Willard getting his other desert key for Desert Palace. And silvers for Willard.
This is where the pressure starts going on. It's like, oh, that stinks. You know, when is Willard going to think about going back there? He'll probably check other places, trying to avoid it, at least for the time being. But if he's really starting to look for that hammer, he might dip that because it's in logic. You know, while we're in kind of a lull and the runners are running over each other, just taking a quick look at the future schedule. Tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Don't quite have a broadcast channel on it yet, but 6:30 p.m. Eastern. WillardJBradley versus Kohrek, round 2. It's going to be a standard swordless expert dungeon. Be on the lookout for that. Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Speed Gaming, the original right here. It will be game 1 of the finals, Elaine versus Andy. That is the same as this, standard Uncle Assured Sword, Key Sanity, only it's hard mode. That's going to be an amazing matchup, so mark your calendars for that one. Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Right here on Speed Gaming. Also on Sunday at 8 o'clock in the evening, channel yet to be determined, but it's game 3, Willard versus Kohrek. All dungeons, standard, expert mode, retro mode. So if you haven't seen a retro mode, you'll get to see these two great runners battle it out for that one.
It's the best mode. Gotta worry about money. Gotta worry about arrows. It's awesome.
Yeah, I honestly love it. I love retro mode. It has that extra wrinkle of money management. Yes, all these times are Eastern time.
Oh, Kohrek is going to take the frog back to the blacksmith hut.
Yeah, I don't think we saw a Jeremiah check, but because we have the mirror, we'll be able to actually do our wonderful fake powder now.
Oh, they're just Fletchers today. I think that's what they call arrowsmiths.
Fletchers, yes. So Silk Soldier requested me in chat to do this. So everyone, Alexa, set calendar Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Speed Gaming, Elaine versus Andy. 3 hours. Go. I hope everyone's Alexa is now set.
I'm wearing headphones.
Oh, big key to Skullwoods. Oh man, this game just loves us today.
We were finally seeing the top part of Tower of Harry here with WillardJBradley getting a small key to Skull Woods. Being able to access this with the quick shot, big chest, not a problem. Getting the Cane of Burna there.
Oh no, and Kohrek actually skipped K45, which is where the bow is. Oh no, and Uncle, oh good old Gary, is going to be giving us the Quake Medallion required to get in Turtle Rock. So that little sequence was required, but that bow is in K45. Kohrek skipped right over it.
For anybody who has not watched one of these races before, K45 is referring to the little cave south of Grove that you do have to mirror into. And there's the Tower of Hera crystal for WillardJBradley.
Kohrek is following a hunch. He says, I got that Skull Woods big key. I'm going to get this while I'm still at least remotely in the neighborhood.
Oh, man.
That might be significant. Thieves Town, another dungeon that we have to do just to the south of here, and it also has, what, 4 treasures behind the big key? So that's big.
Alright, now Kohrek's going to go ahead and get his bow.
Nope, only 3 accessible because we don't have the hammer. Right.
So where is this hammer going to be?
I mean, Thieves Town is looking very attractive right now. It can't be in the big treasure chest. It can't be on the Boston pod, but it still can be in a couple places in Eastern. Ice Palace is diminished because a lot of those locations are locked by the hammer.
I thought it was, isn't just the boss locked by hammer?
No, there's at least one treasure chest that's also blocked by hammer for the an ice. Yeah, two more.
Got a question from the chat. I thought you could destroy Helmasaur Mask with bombs. You can. However, there are some of the little mole guys that you got to knock down to actually get access to Helmasaur.
Alright, there's a small key to Turtle Rock that did not make a difference. Kohrek just now doing the damn sequence about an hour after WillardJBradley did, but it did not matter just because I was not part of the early sequences. Kohrek checking this first clue. Compass held by the thing.
So, see you later, Green Pendant. And throw it into the ocean.
Well, maybe.
No, we've already checked pedestal.
Oh, right, okay. You're right. The most important item in the game, the bug net, was in that other second treasure chest, and everything else in Swamp Palace is locked.
The nylon of Evil's Bane.
Did they even have nylon at this time period that this game is set at?
I don't think so. This is like far apocalyptic future, I guess.
Oh, and chat pointing out something that just kind of flew right by us because it's just kind of a normal thing. Swamp Palace small key. in the first chest.
Oh, T-Rock and Eastern are 5 and 6 crystals today.
Well, that means Pyramid Fairy is dead.
Yep. It's very satisfying to go ahead and kill those 3 Stalfos while you're dashing.
They're a little bit annoying. I concur.
Oh, good dash by Willard.
Oh, that's the God Pixel right there. Kohrek, yeah, he's not going to Turtle Rock. He's probably on his way to Tower of Hera at this point in time, since he's got the keys necessary to go ahead and clear that out. Can't get into Turtle Rock right now. No Hammer.
I think we're going to see Hammer in the iced tea room.
You're mean. I like it.
Yeah, I felt this was calling the Ice Palace 30 minutes ago.
You know, I always think I'm smart when I make a call like that, and then I remember these guys would mop the floor with me, so I just trust their instincts. Well, we got some guesses in chat. Yeah, let's get everyone in chat. Let's everyone take part in this. Where is that hammer? Because the keys we'll be able to find, but hammer is a major roadblock at this point in time.
There's the swamp big key. That probably opens up a lot too, right?
About as much as the Skull Woods does, but, you know. It is slightly more useful than the Hyrule Castle map.
Good blind fight by Willard. Killing blind at the same time Kohrek kills a Moldorm.
There's a question in chat concerning that they did the fake powder glitch. Will they still be able to have the mushroom to do, you know, have they turned the mushroom in? They've already done it, but to answer your question, that's typically why you do what you can to save the mushroom. As soon as you've done the glitch, you still do have the mushroom and can turn it in if you haven't done so already.
Toss that bird. Toss that bird. Toss that bird.
Willard, are you going to do it for the memes? Or are you going to toss the bird for the memes, for the crowd? No, he chases us.
That was rude. That was very rude, Willard.
Guys, it's okay. You know, this is probably the best time Willard's going to have to come over here and check these desert spots. You see, I told you that these two treasures over here would bug him a little bit.
It was tricky because he actually turned around before mirroring out. He did that on purpose. I guarantee you he did.
Now, I'm not going to say that WillardJBradley hates fun, but Willard is diving here into Misery Mire. This is where the flippers are, which might be the only thing that has been holding Willard back from going to Ice Palace. He does need to have the flippers logically in order to find anything there, so that's probably what's holding him back at this point. Kohrek, though, I don't know what's going on with him. So we've already checked Swamp Palace. Still looking for that Swamp Palace small... Oh wait, we have the small cube, just... Oh. Hammer. It's all dependent on the hammer.
Because once they find that hammer, all they're looking for at that point are just keys.
Now, let's see, we have 3 big keys already to Turtle Rock, or 3 small keys, just need the big key. Misery Mire, we'd be able to go ahead and clear as soon as we had the big key. Ice Palace, Thieves Town, fine. Pod, we have the big key. EP, we have the big key. So it's what? Turtle Rock and Misery Mire. That's it.
Yeah, and I don't know if Willard has the Ice Palace big key, but you don't really even need it if you just do the bomb jump. There it is. Never mind. Null and void.
Ped dead? Yeah, Ped's dead. We saw it was Couch Cash earlier. Oh, and here goes Kohrek. Looks like on his way over here to do a Pod Eastern play.
Willard gonna do the same.
I mean, let's look at it. They have pretty well the same items, same loadouts. They are a grand total of 32 rupees separating the two of them. They both have 4 dungeons cleared. They have almost all the same key layouts and everything. I think all roads are converging on Pod right now.
But we all know the hammer is an Ice Palace.
I mean, we don't know that, but we suspect. But yeah, they are within seconds of one another at this point in time. If they're both doing the exact same thing, they've just went their separate ways and converged.
Kohrek bouncing off an invisible door there.
Those invisible doors, they're so invisible. Alright, big treasure chest, hammer.
There it is. Right where I said it would be.
So they both make the same play. They're both going to be rewarded for it. This is such a tight race at this point in time, knowing that we're just 2 big keys away from go mode. And here's the other kicker for you, the 2 big keys that we still absolutely need, Misery Mire and Turtle Rock, they are both crystal dungeons. So there's going to be nothing in Ganon's Tower we need to jump into and then dive back out for another dungeon. We're not opening many treasures there. Link Force does also point out WillardJBradley does not know where the Swamp Palace small key is. It's in its vanilla location right outside, so it is kind of an interesting location that Kohrek did make the gamble and check. Yeah, don't know if that's going to deter Willard too much.
Now, if I'm thinking right, that's the only Swamp Palace small key that is in a chest, right?
Yes. So in the front door. And I guess... Okay, so Swamp is also a crystal. So Willard knows that it's not in Ganon's Tower, which that would be the biggest time sink. If Swamp Palace ended up being a pendant, that would just have the potential to destroy Willard. But it's not the case, so that's good news for him. Eventually, Willard is going to have to make his way back there. He still doesn't know where that is. It is a bit of a gamble. We'll see if Willard ends up heading that way. They're both in pod now, going to knock out another dungeon.
The question from the chat is, could the big key for T-Rock be in Fat Fairy? No, it cannot. T-Rock is going to be one of our 5-6 crystals. Now, the Misery Mire big key could possibly be there.
Yeah, that would be a little bit rude, but fun at the same time. Fun for us, rude for Willard and Kohrek, but you know they're pretty good runners. I think they can handle it.
We're seeing both racers pull off what is known colloquially as the hammer jump. This is one of the more difficult bomb jumps in the game to really pull off. A lot of the other ones you can really just kind of position your way in pretty easily. This one requires absolutely precise position. And they both pulled off fabulously.
All right, so they're both working their way through. Going to see the only mystery right now is what is going to be on the Helmasaur King. Is it another small key to give us some direction? Otherwise, where do you go? Do you immediately dive Turtle Rock and hope? Or Ice Palace? Do you go ahead and say, yep, I can full clear Ice Palace?
You can full clear Ice Palace. You full clear Ice Palace.
Yeah, I was like, that's a dumb question. We haven't done Ice Palace yet.
Because at this point, we are basically just looking for a Misery Mire big key and a Turtle Rock big key. Misery Mire big key, we know that cannot be on Vitreous, and that's about it. Turtle Rock, we know that cannot be on, cannot be in the back half of T-Rock, and it cannot be on the Pyramid Fairy. And the Helmasaur King is down.
Big 20. And there is another dungeon down. It is the final pendant, it looks like. So Desert Palace, Palace of Darkness, and Thieves Town were our pendants. Didn't really mean a whole lot anyway. This is all dungeons. Kohrek looks like he's actually going to go ahead and clear out Swamp Palace. Now this is interesting. Okay, he already knows that nothing is going to be on the left side, so that would be the big mystery. But I guess he got the hint, so he's.
So we may be seeing some divergence here at this point, depending on where Willard.
Yeah, this will be interesting because Kohrek knows he's already kind of dipped his toe into here. Willard doesn't know where that smoky is. I think he's going to go elsewhere. Yeah, I believe he's going to go. He's probably going to go Ice Palace.
Where is Willard going? Oh, he's doing hammer pegs.
Okay. Kind of a one-shot out-of-the-way spot. But this is one of those plays where if you feel you're behind, you got to make kind of a gamble, kind of a low-percent play, knowing that if you get something and it's a low-percent play for you, it's probably not good for your opponent as well. And it's the kind of plays like these that you hope to catch up on. Just some bombs. Not what Willard was wanting to see. That was the small key to Thieves Town. That's another one of those one-off, out-of-the-way locations that Kohrek now has access to that he really doesn't want to have to go back for.
That is a very gross thing to find.
Willard making the Ice Palace play. Kohrek coming up here in the back half of Swamp. Just a lot of love right now. Saryu in chat asked, where was the Swamp Smoky? Vanilla Swamp Smoky, if you can imagine it. And we didn't make a big deal about it when it happened, but it might end up being the play that separates these two.
Willard entering my favorite room in the game, this double Stealthiest Night room. Really easy to kill both of these at the same time, but it just feels really cool whenever you do it.
You do feel very accomplished when you start to be able to do that. Kohrek is using spins for the Master Sword to kill two of these Argai at a time, making very efficient work. Oh man! Big key to Misery Mire.
That is not as huge as the T-Rock big key, but we still need to do it.
Well, it depends. If Vitreous ends up having the Turtle Rock big key, then it's all locked behind that Swamp Palace play, which Willard might avoid. It's still a question at this point in time. And you have access. You can get into Turtle Rock. If you don't know that the Swamp Palace small key is in that first chest, what's more attractive? Dipping into Swamp Palace for that Swamp Palace small key? Or going to Turtle Rock and doing the front part of that? I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think actually getting the Turtle Rock big key might be a bad thing for Willard right now.
Yeah, if he gets it, he's going to check every single chest there for that Misery Mire big key.
And for this Swamp Palace small keys, because he's still 2 items away from go mode at that point.
At least, for his sake, Swamp Palace is a crystal, so we know that he knows that it's not going to be an GT.
That's true. I mean, that's one kind of nice thing to wipe your brow on. Oh, there's the 4th Turtle Rock small key. Oh, there Kohrek setting up spooky action. Not having to bomb that wall.
So Willard's pulling out the hammer. Something we haven't really talked about. We are still on Master Sword for both of these runners.
Yeah, a little bit unusual. I mean, it's not great. They have the silver, so Ganon won't be too hard. Kohrek just melted. Meanwhile, Vitreous, not what he was looking for. All right, so Willard does take out Cold Stare, though. Where is Willard going to go? We know the right play right now, at least, is Swamp Palace. He might go to Turtle Rock, though. Who chose this seed? This was Kohrek who chose this particular string. Tomorrow, WillardJBradley's choice is in play. Kohrek looks like he's going to Ice Palace. Willard is on his way up to Turtle Rock, I believe. I think he's going to check Spike Cave on his way, though.
Yeah, if he's going straight T-Rock, he would have gone over towards the hookshot side. And Willard getting his tempered sword out of Spike Cave. If Kohrek doesn't check that, that could make up a good bit of time for Willard.
Yeah, that would be a great pickup. It all depends on where this Ganon's Tower big key is. Now, Willard checking that on his way up to Ganon's Tower means that Kohrek might make the same play, just because you wouldn't want to double dip Turtle Rock. You're going to eliminate everything else that you can before you go. I mean, I'm not convinced that Kohrek won't check that at least right away.
Oh, Willard bonking that and grabbing the fairy at the same time. Heads up play there. Willard's going to give us our first look at the inside of Turtle Rock.
Yes, this is the Bronze Match Finals, Game 1 of this. A unique item is in the cast. Thanks, game. Other than Turtle Rock, can the Turtle Rock Big Key be anywhere? Well, it could be in Turtle Rock. It could be in Mimic Cave. It could be... yeah, those two places.
Yeah, that's specific to this seed at this point. Generally, the T-Rock Big Key can be anywhere that is not behind the T-Rock Big Key door or the T-Rock Big Key chest. If T-Rock is a pendant, it could even be in Ganon's Tower. However, we know at this point with what we have seen so far that it has to be in T-Rock at this point, right?
I'm racking my brain for everything else that we've possibly checked. Is there anything that we skipped over? And I just... Oh, there is.
Do tell.
The big treasure chest in Thieves Town. We only just now got the small key needed to open that door.
Willard almost pulled off a really cool play, but he was just a short second too late.
Oh, our tracker, Link Force, is pointing out we don't know where the powder is yet, and both runners sequence broke it, and that led us on a chain for a few required items, as I recall.
What was that fake powder?
I think it was a big key of some sort, if I recall.
Oh, Skullwood's big key.
Skullwood's big key to Thieves Town. Yep. Oh! Not only vanilla dungeon, but vanilla location.
Rude game. Rude. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
I mean, that's so vanilla. I mean, that's not French vanilla. That's plain old, off the ice cream truck, bland as heck vanilla.
Hey, vanilla is a good flavor. Don't disrespect.
That's the kind of vanilla you invade a country for. Anyway, so Willard is now checking Mimic Cave. Here's the thing. He is still going to check all of these remaining locations because he is still looking for that small key to Swamp Palace, not knowing that it is also in its original super vanilla location.
Yeah, thankfully, these chests aren't necessarily too huge of a time sink at this point. But yeah, you'd still like to be able to chip those or skip those.
Now, the one thing that'll help Willard out, at least as of right now, is that it looks like Kohrek's going right into Turtle Rock. He is going to be skipping that Tempered Sword, so depending on how Willard routes this, he's going to have just an easier time on Ganon, on the Gauntlet, on everything else from this point forward in the game in terms of just his sword damage. Is it enough, though? It really depends on how soon he gets to Swamp Palace.
Yeah, and it's not even that. Man, it's still a 2-dungeon. He's still got to finish up Swamp, and he's still got to do Mire. He's not going to be checking the Swamp chests, but still, it's not looking good for old William.
There's a Vitor. Yeah, nothing on the laser bridge. It's as we've expected. All right, so Willard is on his try next fight, does not quite get the 0 cycle. But I think he's doing about as well as you can expect with the Tempered Sword and everything else that he has. Just a heart container and another crystal. Worth noting, Willard's going to have to make another climb up Turtle Rock once he's ready for Ganon's Tower. This is Kohrek's last dungeon. He has cleared everything else. He'll be able to go right to the end. We are at 144 in this seed, in this Key Sanity, all dungeons. Kohrek is looking at getting a sub 2 hour. This is really a pretty quick time for a Key Sanity, all dungeons.
Yeah, and keep in mind that a lot of people tend to save that Castle Tower for last. These guys have already done it. I mean, they had to, but Kohrek's further ahead than most people would think. Oh, Willard is checking big bomb.
And he's checking Pyramid Fairy. He is not making the play that everyone was getting really excited about there.
He is showing us the cool way to do it when you've killed Aga.
Meanwhile, Kohrek finds his big key to Turtle Rock and is officially at 1 hour and 45 minutes in go mode. And I see chat's calling Triple Vanilla, Butter Sword, and Pyramid Fairy Map to Tower of Hera and Big 20, so we're not quite that vanilla, guys. Interesting that Kohrek opened that treasure chest. I'm kind of wondering what he's hoping to find at this point. I hope he knows he's in go mode.
I think he does. That's a fast check. I would have checked it for a tempered sword as well.
That's fair. Alright, Willard is diving swamp. He's like, this is the one spot that I haven't gone. He has checked everywhere else except for that Thieves Town troll. Yeah, the Trinex fight is not very fun at all on with just the Master Sword. You end up switching over to the hammer just to maximize your damage, and it's not a fun time.
At least he had half magic. He could get away with one or two missed rod shots. When you don't have half magic, you have to be like bullseye, dead on, sharpshooter, McGee on that.
All right, here is Willard. He is not quite in go mode. He's going to still have to open every treasure chest as he goes through here, hoping to find that Misery Mire big key. So he can't act in go mode right at the moment, unfortunately. Now, Willard did get the hint that you can go ahead and skip left side swamp because it's worthless. So that'll make this a little bit faster, but still has to open a lot of treasure chests in kind of out of the way areas.
Kohrek will be entering GT at about 1:49 on the dot. $1:49.02 for GT for Kohrek. Let's see how fast he can get up there and kill Aga2.
I'm kind of wondering if he can get a sub 2 hour at this point in time. I mean, just think about that. Sub 2 hour, key sanity, all dungeons. That's crazy. I see people playing the big key guessing game. Guys, that was like number 22 for realsies.
Kakariko, well.
All right, Willard is now on his way to the wonderful Argus. We'll get the big key. This is kind of almost last location for Willard, unfortunately. He's just a tad behind, and I think he knows it.
If Kohrek doesn't get a sub 2 hour, he's going to be very close The only thing that's really going to be stopping him from that is having to do spins for Ganon for the first couple phases.
Getting bodied here a little bit, unfortunately, in this gauntlet.
I mean, that may just be nerves at this point. When you are heading into the gauntlet and that other player hasn't got done yet, doesn't matter how long you've been playing, you're still on edge.
Oh, absolutely. As a runner, you just, if you don't see a dot done by this point in time in the dungeon, you start getting really nervous. My cutoff where I stop even checking for a dot done is the torch room. After that, I just don't even bother and just play the game. But before that, you're constantly looking and seeing if there's a dot done to see if this heart rate that you have is justified.
Alright, and we do have fireballs up here, so Kohrek has not despawned Ganon's tower. Seen way too many races get lost because of that.
Look at him still looking for, just getting a couple checks in that are super quick, hoping for a sword, because that would make the Ganon fight a whole lot easier. That's the most insulting thing when you're looking for a sword. The single arrow.
Kohrek is probably going to do us a favor and open the last chest of the game. And it's just some bombs.
Kohrek will be going into the Ganon fight. Down one sword to Willard. It's going to have to make up quite a bit because Willard is still having to do Vitreous, and then he has to climb Death Mountain and do all of Ganon's tower. Meanwhile, Kohrek is at Aga 2. Oh, he had a nice triple setup, except for knocking that second Aga ball into Aghanim. Actually interrupted his cast, so the ball kind of bounced off the wall internally. And now everything's out of sync.
But he does take down Aga 2, and he is heading off to the Big Pig, the Boss Hog himself. Again.
All right, so Kohrek at 154.15 is entering into the Big Pig fight. WillardJBradley has all of his dungeons done. He's on his way over to Ganon's tower, so it'll be interesting. Kohrek has to do spins. Oh, he's using the block to kind of help himself out here. It's a very heads-up play. It's a very veteran play. You don't see a lot of newer players try this.
And I think that was the only health potion that Kohrek had.
Gets the corner set up perfect. Also gets the lag strats perfect.
This is beautiful, what it is.
Yeah, you don't see block strats every day, but if you're in Master Sword Ganon, it saves you so much time.
That's getting him his sub 2.
Yeah, we're already on phase 3. Yeah, this is looking very easily like a sub 2 hour at this point in time. It's going to take a lot to have Kohrek. Oh, no!
Like that!
Oh, Kohrek. Okay, so he's still at an advantage. He didn't burn too much magic. He did burn his potion, though. Yeah, you got to go right back.
Yeah, he doesn't have any potions. Man,
You got to think, as well as he did those first 2 phases with the block, you'd be a little bit upset with yourself missing that opportunity. All right. 4 hearts. Oh man, Kohrek has 4 hearts, and this is where he took the bulk of his damage in the last fight. Notice he's not playing quite as dangerously. He's not going for block strats now. His goal is to not take another hit if he can avoid it. Oh no!
Kohrek, man, just grab your cape.
Okay, seriously, you don't... Okay. When you pull against the wall, it does not drain your magic, so he is waiting for a safe setup. He is now to the next phase. Meanwhile, Willard is on land mode 2. He's slowly working his way up this gauntlet. Kohrek's got to be careful. A death here would be devastating.
That would be any hit would kill him at this point.
Oh, he's in phase 4. Second hit.
There's number 3.
Oh, and there's the 4th hit. Ganon goes down. Kohrek clutching it out, and I think he's still going to get his sub 2 hour.
Congratulations to Kohrek, finishing first on this race. Do not have the official time, but his tracker is showing a 1:59.18.
1:59.18 is the official SRL time as well. GG Kohrek taking game 1 in this bronze finals match. We'll see if we can't get him in for a chat. Meanwhile, Willard is now on his Moldorm 2 fight.
Good game, Kohrek. Congratulations.
Yep, I think Kohrek has joined us. Can you hear us, man?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. Thanks. GG.
You gave us a couple heart attacks there that race.
Yeah, I guess you could say I was a little rusty, but you know, it all worked out in the end.
So I gotta ask, is your favorite flavor vanilla?
Yeah, this was Probably the two worst keys to be vanilla in Key Sanity were vanilla. Maybe GT Big Key is pretty bad too, but yeah, this was an interesting seed for that.
Yeah, just not only the Swamp Palace small key, which always seems to be there, but this one was right there. And then, of course, that Turtle Rock big key. You were almost done with everything by the time Turtle Rock big key even became an issue. How were you feeling, kind of as the race was going on? It seemed the hammer was really kind of the thing that held off for the longest.
Yeah, it was really weird. I was the hammer and two big keys from go mode for it was shortly after an hour into the seed, and it just took a while to get those last couple items, as it often does.
Yeah, I think the overall play of the game was you just checking that swamp palace and finding that small key early. Unfortunately, Willard did not find that until it was pretty much the last option for him.
Yeah, that's really tough. It's a location you're just not going to go to and prioritize until you have the small key. So it just takes a long time to check one chest. So I can see how it happened. I got lucky that I decided to split the South Shore because of the book, and then I never got back to the dam until after I had flippers. Like that was just really fortunate on my part there.
Don't want to take away from your interview here real quick, but we did just have Willard finish. As long as he crosses this bridge, he will have finished. So good game to Willard as well.
Yep, Willard does finish, I think, with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 42 seconds. So about 3.5 minutes difference between here. For in all dungeons, Key Sanity, you guys were right on each other.
Yeah, I think when you have good runners, evenly matched here in the top four, these long seeds tend to even out in the end, even if the routes diverge a little bit.
We're also now joined by WillardJBradley. Hello, Willard. How are you?
Hello. Meh, I'm okay. I lost. What kind of question is that? No, I'm okay. How you guys doing?
Well, we just got the biggest 2 scoops of vanilla we could find for this particular one.
It's nothing really getting around that swamp small, aside from doing what Kohrek did, which made sense to him. But yeah, last location in that, I knew I was behind because of that, and nothing you can really do about that. I don't know when you would make the play otherwise, unless you set it up like what Kohrek did. I don't know when you would ever do it, unless you already had hammer. That'd be about the only time you'd do it, I think.
Yeah, and hammer was kind of in an off location for both of you. There was one other time, I think, when you went and did hammer pegs that I was thinking to myself, this is kind of a one-off out-of-the-way location that you make when you feel behind. Did you feel behind most of the race?
Well, yeah. After I was feeling good until hammer at an hour 20. That's when I started kind of worrying a little bit, and I've had, that the previous tournament races where I got late hammer, and then I put off overworld hammer locations that ended up biting me in the butt. So I was like, this is an out-of-the-way location. It might just be a compass, like that hint said, but let's just go ahead and check it real quick. It's pretty fast. But yeah.
Both of you actually got hammer within probably 20 to 30 seconds of each other. Yeah, it was very close for a long ways, up until probably right around the point where Kohrek checked that small key for Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I figured.
We were also pointing out that fake powder ended up saving you guys a ton of time, because fake powder led to the Skullwood small key, which led to the Thieves Town small key, or big key, I'm sorry. big key for both Skullwoods and Thieves Town. How relieved were you guys that you saved that mushroom for that?
Yeah, that was a pretty huge play. It turns out I always it's the right play, I think, in all Dungeons Key Sanity, because there's just so many items you need to find, and if powder is in GT, which it probably was in this case, it just saves you so much time. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I hate it when that works.
I just felt bad after doing it because I was like, this isn't going to lead me to a hammer unless like powder's just chilling in like the vanilla big key chest in pod, or somewhere that I still have left to go. So the whole time I'm like, and then there's the fear of the Thieves Town big chest having something required later. But getting that, I was like, neat. I'm sure Kohrek also did this because that just makes sense, and I'm not gonna not do it ever again. I'm always gonna do it now. But it was a nice save. I was wondering if powder was ever gonna show up, and it never did. So I was like, it's probably in GT somewhere. So whatever.
Yeah, I guess because the only thing it really saved you guys from doing would be Thieves Town, and that was a pendant. So I guess logically that would have been the last dungeon you should have done, but save some time there in the long run. So tell us a little bit about, you guys have game 2 tomorrow night, and it's Willard, I think this is your call, Swordless Expert Mode, all dungeon?
Yep. Yeah. I decided to drop the Key Sandy since we're doing a Key Sandy today, and just go with some flat out Swordless Expert for good times. And Kohrek vetoed Swordless for game 3, so I'm sure he's not a fan of it.
I like the boots to be more useful.
Yeah, dude, I loved having boots this season. When I got them in the back of pod, I was like, yes. Because it was like, do I check the vanilla big key chest or do I go to the back? Back has more items, makes more sense. But if boots are in the vanilla big key, then I'm like hurting. But yeah, boots are pretty great, so hopefully we'll get early boots.
Well, and then I think Sunday is a retro seed that has not been heavily featured in this unless it's one of the random draws, because everyone seems to veto it. So,
someone in chat during one of my races, after while we were doing interviews, asked me to do retro. So I said, "All right." That was it. That's the only reason why. I mean, we got to get at least one retro match in this top 4, this top 16. I don't think we've seen retro. Have we even seen retro in the brackets? Maybe top 32?
It's been a while. It's
Yeah.
been a long while.
Yeah, I haven't played a retro yet in the tournament, so I'm kind of excited.
Me neither. So sorry, I ruined it. Ruined your perfect record. Mine too. I don't even like retro that much, at least not for the tourney. But with it being expert, it's actually kind of a little bit more valuable because like those 4 heart containers are huge. They'll make a big difference, as well as there is only, you only get 2 swords in the seed. There's 4 total, and one of them is going to be on Uncle, and one of them is going to be in a take any. So,
and Master Sword is actually a progressive item in retro, so that's fun.
So it's gonna be different, which I was feeling up for something different as opposed to the usual all dungeons Key Sanity, just for one break, but.
All right. I think it's time for us to get close to wrapping it up here. Do we have any final thoughts from either Kohrek or WillardJBradley?
Just thank you guys for commentating. Thanks to the people out there watching, and look forward to the next couple games. I'm really happy with my tournament so far. It's always disappointing to come up a little bit short, but at the same time, if you told me at the beginning of this tournament I'd be in the top 4 playing against Willard, you can't really ask for too much more. It's been a great tournament, so look forward to see how these last couple matches go.
Same. I never expected to make it this far, so even just getting to duke it out in the bronze match is pretty cool. So thank you guys so much. Looking forward to more tourney weekend, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Absolutely. That was both Kohrek and WillardJBradley. If you like what you saw from them tonight, they both ran a heck of a race. Go ahead and give them a follow here on Twitch. Easiest way to support them. And for all your other speed gaming needs, make sure you follow Speed Gaming 1 through 6, as well as ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4 for all of your other randomizer action. Like I said, we're getting close to the end of the tournament. We have WillardJBradley versus Kohrek tomorrow night at 6:30. Don't have a channel assigned to that one yet. All dungeons, standard, swordless, expert. The WillardJBradley and Kohrek at 8 o'clock. Retro mode, expert, all dungeons. That's Sunday at 8 o'clock. But the feature for Sunday evening, 5:30 Eastern Time this Sunday, will be Game 1, Thelaine versus Andy Finals. Will be on Speed Gaming. That's going to be all dungeon, standard, Uncle Assured, hard mode. That's going to be an amazing race. Go ahead and check speedgaming.com or speedgaming.org/schedule for all the other speed gaming activity that's going on. Big shout out to our wonderful tracker behind the scenes helping us out. And he's left the room, so I don't know his name off the top. Linkforce, there it is. Linkforce 0. Thank you guys so much for helping out with that. And Virtual Cat, my co-com. Man, it's been a pleasure.
Hey, V Team will ride again sometime soon. You and I doing commentary is always a great pleasure.
I'm so glad that's stuck now. However, that's going to do it for those of us here at Speed Gaming. Until the next race, we'll see you guys later.